Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to lesson 1.6, the last lesson in chapter 1. Before we get started, please make sure you have your notebook, some graph paper, and a pencil. Please make sure when you're drawing the coordinate plane that you use a ruler and make some straight lines. Today, our essential question is to see how you can use the ordered pairs to locate points in a coordinate plane. And if you don't know what a coordinate plane is, at the end of this lesson, you will. Okay, this page is showing you everything you need to know about a coordinate plane. The first piece of information, please be sure that you take the words that are listed to the right of the screen here, you write them down, and along the way you write all their definitions. So a coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of the horizontal line and a vertical line. What is that? Well, once I take just the coordinate plane or your graph paper that you're looking at, when I draw a line going left to right and a line going up and down, we create a center point, which is called the origin. We create quadrants, and we create 4 of them. They're not always going to necessarily be nice and equal like you see here, but quadrants are created, and the only way we can get a coordinate plane is when we draw a horizontal and vertical line. And once they intersect in the center, we now have a coordinate plane. So speaking of the center point, that's called the origin. Technically, this is where the coordinate plane begins. Every point that we look at and graph, we start at 0, 0. The line going left to right, or the horizontal line, oh, sorry about that. The horizontal line going left to right is called the x-axis, and the line going top to bottom is called the y-axis. All right, and if you also notice, we have what's called quadrants, quad meaning 4. This is quadrant number 1. Okay, this is quadrant number 2. This is quadrant number 3. And here is quadrant number 4. It is very, very important that when you name a quadrant, if you notice, they are all written in Roman numerals. So if you're asked to name a quadrant, your answer must be written with the Roman numerals as well. All right, and then the last thing we need to take a look at is ordered pairs. The ordered pair is a number or a pair of numbers that we use to locate a point on this plane. So we always start at 0, 0. The first number you look at down here represents the x-axis. So from 0, 0, if the number is positive, we move to the right. From 0, 0, if that first number is negative, we move to the left. From 0, 0, if the first number is 0, we stay right where we are. The second number in red represents the y-axis. And once you figure out where you're going on the x, so here we're at 4, 0, 0 will go over to positive 4. The negative 2 indicates that we need to drop 2 points on the y-axis. If the y value would be positive, we would go up that number of points. If the y value is 0, we stay right where we are. If you need to take a second and go back to the previous page and pause the video to write some vocab words, please make sure you do so. So what we're going to do here is plot a couple points. We're going to plot negative 4, 2, and then point B, we're going to plot 0, negative 3. So they're already on the grid, but I'm going to walk you through the steps and show you what needs to be done. So I'll be the blue marker. So negative 4, 2, we start at 0, 0. And remember, the first point represents x, and x is the line that goes left to right. So from here, we're going to go over 4 units, and then since the y value is positive, we're going to go up 2 units. So here is point A. Okay, now the next point, I'll do it in black. It's 0, -3. So remember, the first point represents x. So I don't need to move left or right because my first point is 0. My y value is -3, so I will be going down 3 units. And here is b, -0. I don't know why that's not coming up right. That should be b, 0, -3. Next page. Take your graph paper and take a minute and graph the 4 following points. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to the next page on the coordinate plane, and I'm going to show you how to graph these 4 points. I'll be back and forth between the 2 pages. So point A is 2, 3. So here's my coordinate plane. If you notice, it's not numbered. So you need to make sure that when you number consistently. You can skip every other one and do 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But remember, whatever you do, you need to be consistent all the way around. So if I make this 1, this here would represent 2. Then this line would be 3. This would be 4. This would be 5. Okay, so whatever it is you decide, you need to stay consistent. So if this is 0, think about it, and I go up, that's a positive number, so this represents 1, 2, this is positive 3, 4, positive 5, and so on. Now if we go back to 0, 0, and I go left on the number line 1 unit, now this here represents -1, -2, the next line is -3, -4, -5, and so on. And the same in the downward action. If I go down 1, that's -1. So here's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, this in here is a 3. It's kind of tough to write on this laptop. So the first point we're graphing, if we take a look, is 2, 3. So I'll stay with black. Okay, 2, 3. So starting with 0, 0, I'm going to go over 2 units on the x. 1, 2. Now I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So here's point A. All right, we're going to go to the next page. Point B is -1, 0. So we are going to go on the x, -1, so left 1, and then 0 means don't go up or down. So here is point B, right in there. All right, point C is -5, -1. So on the x, I'm going to go over to -5, and then I'm going to go up 1. Or was it -1? Sorry about that. So -5, -1, go over to -5, and then go down 1, right in here. That's C. And then point D is 3, -6. So from 0, 0, I'm going to go to +3, and I'm going to go down to -6, right here. Since this is -5, this line here would be -6. So here is point D. Here's a real-life example on how we would use the coordinate plane. So it's a 3-part problem. So in your notebook, mark A, B, and C. You'll most likely need your graph paper for one of these. So you and your friend have tickets to see a football game. You sit in the Hall of Fame section, and your friend sits at -4, -2. So let's see where your friend is sitting. From 0, 0, we're going to go over on the x to -4, and then we're going to go down to -2. So your friend is sitting all the way over here, and you are where the football is, right here. Part A. Write an ordered pair for your location. Well, if this is your seat, if we take a look, here's 5. So we are at from 0, 0, 6 units to the right, and then 1 unit down. So you are located at 6, -1. And it also asks us in which quadrant are we seated. This is quadrant 1. Over here where the mouse is moving is 2. This bottom left is 3. And the bottom right is 4. So you are seated in quadrant 4. Question B. In which quadrant is your friend seated? Well, we found our friend over here at -1, -4, -2. He would be in quadrant 1, 2, 3. Our friend is seated in quadrant 3. A fan in quadrant 2 is chosen to win a prize. Do you or your friend have a chance to win? So a fan in quadrant 2. Here's quadrant 2. So the question is, will you or your friend be picked? Will you or your friend have a chance? So here's the solution. You are seated in quadrant 4 over here. Your friend is seated in quadrant 3 right here. So you and your friend don't have a chance because the winner is going to be picked from one of these seats over here where you see the mouse moving. So the answer is no, because you and your friend are not in quadrant 2. All right, we've reached the end of lesson 1.6. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.